in need of men who will be men today.
Hello, everybody. This is SP, and welcome to The Formula. You know, my co-host here today, Mr. Marquis.
What's
How you
going on?
doing today?
I'm doing great, SP. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate another day, you know what I'm saying? With SP and our guest.
Already. And one of my favorite MCs is here, Rakim Al Jabbaar. How are you?
Peace. I'm blessed. I'm well. How y'all doing?
All right. I've been looking forward to we deep dived into the album, and now I get to deep dive into who you are as a man. And I've been looking forward to that.
Exactly. A conversation that's deeper than the album. You know what I'm saying? Like we get to go into the brain, baby.
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm just gonna start off like I normally start off, just letting people know where you're from and how does that impact the way that you make music.
Mm. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Um, my father, the great Big Al, may he rest in peace. He's a pioneer in not only Dallas hip hop, but really hip hop in general. They came out, they was heavy on that bass. You know what I'm saying? Really before the Miami thing. You know what I'm saying? So my music is very bass heavy, and then you know the energy in the city is very competitively driven across all facets of arts and culture. There's a lot of competition there in Dallas. And so, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I approach my music from a competitive aspect. To me, hip hop, or definitely the MCing part, is a contact sport. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I approach it when I'm rapping.
Real quick, you talked about your father recently, and you talked about your father on the THHC podcast as well. You was telling us about a show that you usually do every year. Is it called the was it the Big Al show? Is that what it's called or something like that?
It was called
How'd
Big
that show
Al.
go?
I changed the name to Big Al Son this year. And we did it
Big
on
Al's son.
yeah.
How'd it go? How'd that show go?
Oh man, it was dope. It was beautiful, man. It was really my favorite we done so far. I'm excited to build on it with that current format.
Okay. So what do you mean? You changed the format? I know you changed. So you changed the name. You changed the format. In what
And
sense?
then the only people who perform is like blood to me. So I have a brother on my daddy from my daddy, you know what I'm saying? So I have brother with my father, he performed, and then my little sister from my mother, she performed, you know what I'm saying? And then the two DJs is my cousins, you know what I'm saying? So it was all a family thing. It was a screen in this venue where I could put his face up there and make him an altar with the things that he liked right in front of it, and light the
Mhm.
candles for stuff, you know what I'm saying? And his ex-wife was there, some of his other kids was there. So it was really just, you know, an intimate family thing. And that's why it was my favorite one.
Dope.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, fire.
So I know your father pioneered um was a pioneer in hip hop for your area. But how
Uh-huh.
did he introduce you to hip hop?
In the studio, really. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
the funny thing about my dad was he didn't listen to a lot of hip hop. So if you just chilling with him or riding with him at the house with him, you're not gonna really hear
Mm-hmm.
him play. You know what I'm saying? He gonna play rock probably more than anything, and then you know, the soul music that everybody from that era grew up on. But it was more so about the doing don'ts of the studio and the doing don'ts of an MC. You know what I'm saying? And the importance of the main thing that sticks out from him to me is the importance of being able to perform your rhyme live the same way you did it in the studio.
I'm interested in the rock. I guess the rock groups and rock bands and And I guess some of his favorites, did they come some of your favorites? Can you name some of his favorites? What did you grow up listening to?
No, his favorite rock band was Metallica. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, Metallica?
Yeah. And so, and then he wasn't in the house with me. So in my house, my mother listened to R&B and soul music. The only rap she would listen to was Lauryn Hill and a little bit of Tupac. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really get to even deep dive into hip hop until my father passed, really, when I was 12. I guess that was my mother's way of, like, I don't know, connecting with me or keeping me connected with. At that year, she started buying me CDs every Christmas. She would buy me like 4 albums. I didn't even ask for them. It was like she was picking for me. You know what I'm saying? And I would just study that
So
music.
what was the rap album that first piqued your interest?
In what way? Like musically?
Yeah, that made you like, okay, I can dig this.
That ironically is going to be Doggy Style, only because I was always sneaking around the older kids and older people. That's been my thing my whole life. So
Mhm.
yeah, so when Doggy Style came out, all the teenagers in the apartments, they was going crazy behind it. They was passing
Uh-huh.
around the CD and stuff, but they like outside. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sneaking up and they little huddles doing what they doing, and they showed me the CD cover, and that CD cover blew my mind really more so than the music at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, the first music that like truly captivated me, like sent me down the hip hop rabbit hole, would be my 16th birthday. I got Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, Nas, Illmatic,
Mm.
and
Mm.
Gucci, Riding Dirty. My partner bought me them 3 albums on my 16th birthday. That was my first time all 3 of them. And that shit, you know what I'm saying, really that's like my foundation.
Oh, UGK Riding Dirty. I remember when that came out. Oh, it was
Class.
like, yeah, it was like Texas is back, baby.
Yeah, bro. Definitely.
That's a good collection to start off with to get inspired by. So when you said earlier you hung with the older crowd in a sense. I remember doing that too as well. Like, now, did that benefit you as, growing up as a man? Because, without your father in a sense, but were they more of the male role models in the streets and your uncles or whoever that was?
No, definitely, especially in hindsight, like these past 2 years, I've been realizing how much the male figures that I did have to replace my father shaped who I am today. You know what I'm saying? I'm really realizing they influence and how heavy that played into my life. But that definitely made me who I am. Of course, it naturally makes me a leader amongst my peers because I move like an older person. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
if they wasn't privy to them conversations, a lot of times I got access to information they don't have access to because technically I've been sitting with elders my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going and learning from people, especially at this age. One of my closest friends is 15 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? So I get to learn a
Yeah.
lot from his experiences.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about the South. Any other elders that talk to you, they didn't. You didn't have to be theirs. They'll just stop and be like, boy, what you doing?
Mhm. Oh,
What you doing over here, girl? You know you don't belong over here.
especially
I
when I was
think,
a kid, but when I was a kid, it's still especially because I grew up in apartments, so it was certain people, especially the black people, like they could check you, they could whoop, some of them could whoop you. You know what I'm saying? Without
yeah,
even they
Oh
could they
yeah.
could get on your ass and then go tell your mama afterwards, like, hey, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I seen this motherfucker outside bullshitting, and then your mama beat your ass too.
Yeah, I remember growing up in the hell, even the drug dealers would whoop your ass and send you home. You don't belong out here, boy. You don't belong out here, gal.
For sure.
Speaking
Yeah,
of the hood,
it was.
speaking of the hood, though, right? The hood, the mentality of the hood. I know, like you kind of grew up in that atmosphere. So now that you're the I guess the big dog in a sense, you're the one of the male role models that of your generation and your circle. How do you get the minions not to follow the same suit that you follow when you was younger with the hood mentality?
You can only lead by example, right? And even people like a year, 2 years, 3 years younger than me, um, it'd be crazy. Like when I run into them now, they have like extremely positive memories of me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always different and I always marched to the beat of my own drum. So even if I was on some bullshit, I probably did that bullshit by myself. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't with a group of niggas doing
Yep.
bullshit. I never tried to
Mm-hmm.
tough guy and no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I really done just always led by example.
I think that's what keeps you from falling prey. Is you in the hood, but you not of it. You're not an integral part of the hood functioning.
Nah, for sure. And you gotta not be afraid to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? I done been approached to do some shit that I didn't agree with before, and I told niggas no. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if the niggas would have
Yeah.
decided that they wasn't gonna be cool with me after that, then that's what they would have been. But niggas really always respected it because whatever I felt, I stood on that.
Mm-hmm. It so what gave you that strength of purpose not to fall into the group thing? You know, everybody's doing it, so I'm gonna do it too.
My mother, um, my mother
Mm-hmm.
used to lecture me about being a leader, never being a follower. You know what I'm saying? And she also programmed me with some toxic shit, which was that everyone was born beneath me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like she say that so many times in your head, and she tell you you a leader so many times, and she talk about people as followers in such a derogatory manner that there's no way I can ever be that. You know what I'm saying? She shaped my perspective on that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm
You're
out and operating,
your nickname in your next album is gonna be called Big Baby Thanos. So that relates to my next question. Like, did you always have size as a youngster? Was you always a big boy? Meaning, like, a lot of people didn't touch
nah,
you, and for that reason.
I was swole, but I wasn't big. You know what I'm saying? But I was skinny, and probably by the time when I got in the 6th grade, we moved to where I had to go to school on the other side of town, basically. So like none of these kids know me. And they
Mm-hmm.
started in 6th grade, they started a rumor that I was on steroids. You know what I'm saying? But
What? Hold on. What kids are cruel, man. That's crazy, man. Kids are crazy, man.
it is what and I'd never seen a steroid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're like, what's there?
That
What's
was
that?
all
What is that?
that was all off of push-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like that go back to what you said a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the men that played the role in my life of my uncle, the push-up regimen they had me on at 10 years old, if you seen me at 12, no, really, now I'm tripping. At 9, if you seen me at 10 or 11, you'd have thought I was on steroids.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
snap! So okay, they had you doing the push-ups at 10,
They
9 and
had you
11,
jacked.
9 and 10.
Oh yeah,
Oh my!
crazy. I was on the wall. I was doing every push-up you could do. Diamond push-ups, wide, close, incline, decline, up against the wall. You know what I'm saying? And they used to beat my ass too.
Yo,
You know
that
what I'm
reminds me.
saying?
Was it your uncles or just your like friends that were just older than you? Your
These
uncles and
are
father?
my mama male friend.
Oh Lord, man! My uncle used to do that to
Mm-hmm.
me. He used to make
Yeah.
he used to make us call him Master Blaster while he punches in the chest and got us ready for the streets. He said like we couldn't cry. He was just punches in the chest. You have to take the punches, and then like just like you saying about the push-ups, he used to make us get in shape. So when we did have a fight, those baby punches that those my same age was giving was nothing. It's like, what's this, dude? You don't hit like my uncle.
There's no way you can hit me as hard as this grown ass man.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
But since you've grown up, because I remember they used to. I grew up in the country, so they used to whoop us upside down by one leg. You know what I mean? They tear our ass up upside down by one leg.
Damn.
When you think back on some of the stuff that you grew up with, did it have an impact on the way you think about parenting now?
Of course, 1,000,000%, definitely. I don't believe in how you say. I don't believe in physical discipline with children, or as far as like me putting my hands on the child.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can't understand the conversation enough, then I might make you sit on the wall, or I might make you push-ups, or I might make you what they used to make us hold cans of them Bush's baked beans like this.
Oh yeah. Or sit in the corner and do this. My sisters would make her kids like kneel down, sit in the corner, kind of do this.
If you hold them Bush baked beans like this, right? If your arms drop, you get punched in the chest. You know what I'm saying? So you be in there standing, legs going like noodles, trying to hold your arms up like that and shit.
Yo.
Yeah.
So what do you? Are you a father? First of all, are you a father?
Technically, yeah. Not biologically, but yeah.
Not biologically. So I mean, so that poses like, I guess I could ask the same question. Like, do you, since it's not physical, so you're more of a speaker, talker, making sure they know what's going on and why you're talking to them at a certain degree, right?
For sure. But like everybody, children rock with me because I remember how advanced I was as a child mentally, and I don't think I'm special, right? So to me, all children are that advanced mentally, and they just like play with grown people. You know what I'm saying? So I approach them in a manner that, like, for one, like we equal. I don't never come at them like I'm over them. You know what I'm saying? I come at them like we equal, and also they're like, hey, I know that you smarter than you want your mama and daddy to know. And I ain't gonna necessarily snitch on you. But when you communicate with me, we just gonna both be real with each other and leave that bullshit for your mama and them, because I ain't going for it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. I've always been that kind of talker with my kids. So it's important that you don't treat children like they're children. They are, because eventually they're gonna be adults.
Yep.
So when you look at, people say that because we don't have the corporal punishment like we used to when we were kids, that is a reason that society has changed. Do you agree with that?
No. Because this new generation, they don't fear nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not you're not finna beat them into submission. They DNA is not structured. You know what I'm saying? Like they willingly go outside and shoot at each other, like knowing bullets kill people. You know what I'm saying? They don't even, the way we would be ready to fight, they ready to shoot. I've had conversations with them about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of their mind, if you punch them, that means you want to get shot. That's literally how they, you know what I'm saying, program. They corporal punishment ain't gonna do shit but fuck around and get you shot outside their school.
Yeah, I always believe that, you know, okay, let's be. You saying something? Oh,
No, go ahead.
I hear you. Oh no, I was gonna say I always thought that you know that type of physical punishment has nothing to do with the way society is right now. I think our generation was brainwashed by who's who, and I think the same goes for this society with the things they're watching on TV, the things that's on social media. I don't think I think it does start at home. I think you should, when I say discipline your kids, it doesn't have to be physical. It just has to be like you guys have to have some type of understanding, and they still got to know that you are the parents and you are in a sense the ringleader because you've been around and you have time on this planet. But like I have a daughter and I've never hit her. I always spoken to her. You know what I'm saying? I always had understands with her. I always spoke to her like she was an adult, even when she was a baby. I didn't do baby talk.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, what's going on? What are you doing?"
And then
like,
she
what I'm saying?
girls,
Like, oh, it's looking at me. I'm like, "Yeah, what up?" I'm not. I never did none of that, and I treated her with respect as she grew, and so I didn't really have to beat her. So now she's a outstanding citizen. Since she's doing well. You know what I'm saying? She's not running around in the streets.
beautiful. And she ain't never experienced a man hitting her, so in her mind, it's definitely not okay. I look at that with little girls that type of way. Like, no, put my hand on you, and no man should ever put his hand on you in your life. If he does, it's an extreme violation. That's not something to forgive or forget. None of that.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's not good for girls to associate male love with physical violence.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
I could tell that you respect the Black woman because I see you do quotes and stuff on your social media and stuff. How important is the Black woman to you? Let's talk about that.
We gotta go. Everything goes childhood. So I was the only male in a home with 4 women, right? So that's the majority of my childhood is in a house with 4 women. That's when I'm most comfortable in a room full of women. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like at least modern male energy is very weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mesh with it. Well, the toxic masculinity and all that. Dudes who not in tune with their feminine, or people who think their feminine energy is soft. Like, we could embrace the pain of childbirth. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Men are very dumb to me, basically. So,
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it, man. Yo, listen.
It always because I have always been comfortable in a room full of males only because I never viewed it as toxic masculinity. I always viewed it as unresolved hurt.
For sure.
And the inability to express it. And I always thought that if you weren't in the room with them, then you can't change it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand that perspective for sure.
But I grew up with I have two older sisters. So growing up with a house full of women, that's a lot of estrogen in the house.
Hey, most times it's too much. You feel me? A lot
and
going on.
women can be difficult to navigate even in the best of times. So how did you find your way as the only male in the house navigating these extreme highs and lows that women just have?
That's an interesting question. I think when you're the only male, it actually makes it easy, right? You're the only male principal in the house, and then you just kind of you controlling your energy amongst that flow. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Feminine is like water. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to go with that flow. You can't go against the tide. You're going to drown. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, 100%.
go with the flow, man. Be smart. You know, don't let your pride play you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going with the flow.
Yo, that's a great way to announce that, because to go with the flow, go with the water. Because I was raised by, I make a joke about wolves, but it was women. I was raised by women too. You know what I'm saying? My mom's, my older sister, aunts had more aunts than uncles, and then if I had uncles, they were running around in the streets. I didn't really see them around that much or often. Or if we were at gatherings, it was just mostly the women doing the thing, setting up, doing whatever. So yeah, don't go against the wave, man. So, but they respect you as the only man in the house and maybe one of the only men around. So they kind of give you that a little bit of power. They give you a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? You can make mistakes, you know what I'm saying, usually in that atmosphere, and they work with you kind of in a sense. Does that make sense?
For sure, definitely.
Yeah. So I have the same similar, probably growing up type of thing with you. So that don't go against the wave. I love that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Real.
So, at what point did you decide that I can make music, and I can make music for a living. I can make this work for me. At what was the point that registered in your head that this is what you can actually do and be successful at it?
I mean, with a realistic perspective, because
A
12,
realistic perspective.
yeah. At first, I thought I was gonna be the next Bow Wow. You couldn't tell me that. But realistically, 2016, so 7 years ago, I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's when it became a real thing in my mind.
Did you start off? Okay,
go ahead. No,
I guess you start off because she's talking about the rapping thing. Did you start off also, behind the boards doing production? Did you ever want to be a producer? Have you ever created a beat?
Yeah, I started producing around that same time. I had stopped rhyming, or stopped recording. I never stopped rhyming. But I stopped making music. I had all the equipment in the house, And then my little sister had went through an experience where she lost her basketball scholarship. And that was like her dream and her passion, and she knew how it felt to lose that. So she started rapping because she was watching me not interacting with passion. So she really started rapping, inspired me to get back, make me do it because she want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so at that time, I started making beats too. It's probably 2013, 2014. I started making beats too. So y'all done produced before, and then I've been recording myself more than half my life now.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But what made you lean into the rapping aspect more than producing?
I'm an MC first. I only made beats because I couldn't afford beats, and I was tired of always. I didn't want to rap on instrumentals, and I was tired of downloading beats from SoundClick. They got the producer tag on it and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started making beats to not have to do that, and I really only ever chop samples up and put drum loops on them. I didn't go. I'm a very boom bap type producer.
Yeah. I'm a boom bap type of girl, so I understand.
It's a song on my first album called All I Need. I made that beat 100% by myself. And a lot of other things, I co-produce, I co-do everything, really. I co-produce, I co-direct, but I just don't be taking the credit for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, I probably picked the sample. I probably picked the loop, the part of the beat that we was going to loop. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I picked the drums, did the drum pattern. You know what I'm saying? I'm very involved in the production process for sure.
You said something about directing, right? Now I looked up, I got to do my research. The movie, The Drip Spot, is that my saying? The Drop Spot. Sorry, the Drop Spot. I got my old look like an eye for some reason. The Drop Spot. Are you an actor in that, or you directed it? You co-producing it? What's going on? What's your role in that movie?
I had a very small role in that movie. I'm a goon for one of the drug dealers in there.
So you starting off small, you know, the catered roles of a black man, like because you're a big dude, you know what I'm saying? So you
But
gotta play the big roles first.
we already shot another movie last year. Ironically, I just watched it for the first time yesterday. It's called Mojo Savage, and I'm the co-star in that movie.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here. So is the drop spot out? Is that the movie out, or is it coming out soon?
It's out. It's on Tubi right now.
Oh, it is. I gotta check it out, dog. I gotta check it out, man. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. It's a funny movie.
And I can't wait for. What's the second movie about you just talked about? That's your
It's a hip hop movie. So it's about rappers in a rap competition in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because you gotta think about it, man. 8 Mile wasn't it. I mean, it is, but I'm saying it wasn't like the first, you know what I'm saying, rap city town that, you know what I'm saying, state that became, a battleground for rappers and stuff like that. Just, happened to have a highlighted hip hop artist that was already kind of coming up being big, and that's why that movie got so much fame. But like, I can't wait to see that as well. Like, it's how different is that movie from, I guess, because people are gonna be comparing it to 8 Mile. So how different is it that?
Well, it has a completely like storyline, and it's not like battle rap. It's like a rap competition where you perform real music. You know what I'm saying? So, but even if they did compare it to 8 Mile, man, hey, this movie is a great movie. I was telling the writer and the director yesterday, and you set the bar pretty high for yourself with this one. And even he himself was like, man, this was a passion project. I'm not in my mind. I'm not even trying to speak with it because I don't think I can. Like, that's how good it is. You know what I'm saying?
Now, is there a soundtrack? And if there is, are you doing some of the music? Are you doing some of the score? Because are you familiar with doing scores? For scores, you can make a lot more money than this actual, records that you make and create, right? Like RZA started doing scores for movies.
I didn't do none of the score on this one, but there is a soundtrack, and I got like 4, 5. I think I actually got like 6 songs on there, something like that.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope, man. I like that, man. And speaking of, I had to bring up, Eminem only because of the similarities of the movie you described. I just saw you with the Royce the 5'9" in the photo, man. Did you get to chop it up with him?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. That ain't the first time.
Oh, okay. So like you're familiar with him. You talk to him, you know him. So it's like he seemed like a humble stand-up guy, right? He seems like that.
He's one of the as far as the celebrities, the MC out of, he's one of the most humble I've met, by far.
Okay.
Super cool dude. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure you met some ones that you were disappointed. Have you met anybody that, you don't have to say no names, don't say no name, but have you met people that, other artists that when you met him or her, you were disappointed and you was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He said, yeah.
Hey, and I will say one name because he's trending right now and it's hilarious.
Oh, say it. Okay, go ahead. You gotta say it.
Keith Murray.
Oh, Keith Murray. Is he? But I heard he really was. I don't know about what drugs he was taking. I don't know if he still is on them. But I heard he was always a bad boy in a sense, right? So like his persona is that, right? So if you meet him, why would you be disappointed? Or did you not know he was kind of?
I didn't know his persona.
Okay.
I just know Keith Murray, and I know the people that's throwing the show. So like I know I'm gonna be able to meet him. Like the dude, shout out to Big Keith. He worked for a company called Galaxy 9 Dallas. He drives around the artists that they book when they come to the city. And he always played in my music. And they hear me, a lot of them be wanting to meet me and stuff, right? So by this point, he been doing this, so I know I'm gonna meet Keith. But I'm like, I'll wait till the end. I'm standing kind of towards the back of the club, you know what I'm saying, before he go on and shit, close to the bar. And somebody tapped me on my shoulder. And I turn around.
Uh-oh.
And it's drunk ass Keith Murray.
Ah. So he's already nice. He's already nice.
What? Hey, yo,
Like lit.
He get on stage. He do his hit song last, of course, right? What's that? The most beautiful thing.
Thing in the world, whatever. Yeah.
All right, look.
Yeah.
The man in the club selling roses. Keith takes all the roses from the nigga, and he's pulling up girls one by one on stage, giving them a rose, dancing with them, and you know what I'm saying? And then the show is over, and of course the nigga's like, you know what I'm saying, run me my money.
Get my money, nigga.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't giving you shit.
Wow.
The nigga took the roses back from the women.
Wow.
Hold on. That's a businessman. You gotta take the that's funny, but hold on.
Yeah.
You ain't pay for them. You ain't pay for them joint. Get my roses back, dog.
Hey, he was cock deep too. Keith ain't want no problems with him, man. He took all the roses back.
Wow.
Oh,
that's cold.
Yeah,
Yo, Keith, we got a story about you. What? All the stories he got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nigga.
Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing worse than dealing with a drunk when you sober.
Nah, for real. Time to move around.
Already. When you who was the funnest person that you opened for?
Damn. It's gonna have to be a tie for that one.
Okay.
When I opened for Wu-Tang in Dallas, shout out to Stone Mecca. Stone Mecca took me on tour when he was an opening act for the 4 Texas dates for the Wu-Tang 25th anniversary tour. You know what I'm saying? And I never performed in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people. So I'm a little nervous. I hadn't been nervous in forever. I'm a little nervous at the time. I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go or feel or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We're at the factory in Deep Ellum, and I come out in the middle of Stone's set. And when I came on stage, the crowd erupted. And I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So from that point, I knew I was like, oh, if I perform in Dallas, like this is a home game. Like this don't even count no more, really. Like the city fuck with me, especially that crowd. Like, you know what I'm saying? They fuck with me. And then the other one, ironically, was Royce. I had been fasting for 40 days leading up to that show. Right. And Royce, he was on tour. I'm cool with the promoter. So I tell him, I said, hey, because it's another local act that he put on the rest of the Texas dates. I only did the Dallas date. I'm involved in how these things go. So I said, listen, I know you're supposed to put him after me, right? But don't do that to him because it's gonna be bad for him if you do that. Because I've been fasting. It's a full moon. I'm going to split the building in half. That's what it's gonna feel like. You better not put him after me. Sure enough, I get to the venue. He got the guy listed after me. I'm like, okay, I'll try to tell him. I get on stage. I split the fucking building in half. It's insane to the point to where I went to the green room. I didn't drop the mic. I was going to drop the mic, but I caught myself. I sat it down and walked off like right after the last song. Right. And I just walked up the stairs to the green room, and then the crowd was chanting for an encore. You know what I'm saying? But then now you gotta come on after that.
Oh snap!
Good luck with that.
So how did that end up?
Bad. Like I said, the promoter said, "Yo, I'm sorry, Rob, bro. I'll never do that to you again, bro." He's like, bro, did you pay the light, dude? It seemed like the lights was perfect your whole set. Like, what did you do? I said, man, I told you what was gonna happen. You ain't listen to me. You know what I'm saying?
So you felt that energy, that vibe. You just knew you was about to shut it down.
Yeah, I did.
Yo, that's gonna say. I was gonna say like some people like I used to like when I did plays or like or certain things in high school or whatever, right? Sometimes I felt that energy. Like I felt like you ain't stopped me on this. This is it. I'm about to kill it. So I kind of get it. I mean, I'm talking about high school plays, but you know what I'm saying. But it's kind of the same thing going on stage and trying to like, and you know you got it.
Look, I got a partner in high school. We played fullback. One game before the game, all day he was telling people, "It's gonna be crazy tonight. You won't be there." And his big brother was in the NFL, and he was coming to that game, and he feel the energy. He like, "Hey, go off! I'm telling y'all." He played fullback. He had 11 carries, 273 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Damn.
Yeah, he knew what he was finna do.
Well, speaking of football, have you ever played football? A lot of people are gonna ask you that you're a big dude. Have you played? What sports did you play?
I only played football. I ran track too.
Oh, you ran track?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's what's up, man. I ran track too, so I'm like, oh, no, a track veteran, veteran like myself.
Which event?
In track?
Which event? Yeah.
The 4x1, the 100, the 200, the 4x4 when they would make me, triple jump, long jump. That's it.
Oh, he was an all-star. Yo, you doing everything, dog.
Oh, yeah.
Sound like me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Sound like me. You know what I'm saying?
On the football field, I done played every position except for O-line.
Oh, wow.
Even
quarterback?
Huh?
Even quarterback?
Yeah, I only got moved to fullback because I mainly played running back my whole life.
Oh, okay.
I fucked around a 50-yard pitch pass in 7th grade, and they moved me to quarterback. And then after my sophomore year, I gained 20 pounds on purpose, thinking they would have to move me to running back, but they moved me to fullback. But yeah, I played quarterback for sure. So, yeah.
Oh, snap.
Balling.
Cool.
Balling. Oh, balling, just balling.
Yeah.
So if you had your choice of producers, living or alive or not, who would you really want to work with?
How many?
Let's go with your top 5 that you'd want to work with, not your top 5 producers at all time, because sometimes your top 5 producers are different than the ones you actually really want to work with.
Primo, Dilla, Dre, Kanye, and Quincy Jones.
Ooh, Quincy, that's a good one.
Right, honorable mention, Teddy Riley.
Ooh, Teddy. Teddy was on. I know he's still producing, but he's one of the best, man. Like he's a GOAT, automatic.
So if you had out of all the skills that you have as a rapper, producer, which skill would you least like to give up?
Rhyming.
Makes sense.
Writing or just rhyming itself?
You mean like writing or performing?
No, I mean, yeah, writing or performing.
Neither one. I mean,
I get it.
If I gotta choose, I'm gonna go with writing, because if you don't write it, you can't perform it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
True. Well, speaking of writing, you have a book of poems, right? You have a book out, right? Are you planning to write more books, or do you have more books out? What's going on with the book writing?
That book isn't out yet. It'll be out this year.
Oh, it's not out yet. It's coming out this year. Your first book's coming out this year.
And my first poetry book, called Unlucky Lover, will be out this year. And I'm gonna keep writing poetry books, and then I got a outline for a how-to book called "In the Presence of a Woman: How to Embrace the Divine Feminine." You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You sound interested, man. It sound like I'm about to put them on my list right now to read. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't even out yet. You know what I'm saying? God damn. Tell us more about those books, man. Like, I guess the meat and potatoes of
Subject
the book.
matter.
Yeah.
The Unlucky Lover is mainly about this woman that is extremely infatuated with me to the point to where she put me in a honey jar. You know what I'm saying? And it had me like crazy about her. So like the majority of those poems are about her. The other ones are like me dealing with the breakup of my relationship. And then some of them is just, inspired by random women, but they all about women. The Unlucky Lover. You know what I'm saying? It's a few spiritual poems in that book, but they even have an undertone of my relationship and interaction with women.
I like it, man. I like that's gonna sell. I like this. I like these concepts, man.
Yeah.
Like
and then the second one, I just think from my conversations with women and men that men don't really know how to interact with women, or black men, we need to, especially in our time, like 100%. We need a class on that. You know what I'm saying?
How to be gentlemen again, how to respect women in general. How to walk on the same right side of the street, simple stuff.
Do stuff like that. But so I seen some the other day, didn't comment on social media, but this girl was saying how it was a video of Roddy Ricch, and she was saying that she wouldn't mess with him no more. It was him and his girl. They get out the Rolls Royce and walk in the building, and he walk in the door first. And she was like, she wouldn't have messed with him no more after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, from my studies in African culture, the man is supposed to enter the door first. Because what if you sending your woman into a threat? If you open the door and then she go through the door first and it's a threat in there, now she has to encounter and deal with the threat. If you open the door, you can hold the door open for her, but you go in front of her. So if there are any threats in that building, you can deal with it. We just came from outside. We know what's going on out here. You know what I'm saying? But the man should be the first one to enter the building just in case there's any threat.
My dad would always look around inside the room, and then he'd step and hold the door open for us. But he always looked around inside the room before he allowed us to go in.
I done seen a man go in the building, check the building out, then come out and let his family go in. You know what I'm saying? It's multiple ways you could do it, but you don't send no woman in no building blindly, basically.
Yo, now you got me tripping now, man. I gotta change that up. Lord, that's kind of dope. Now that's dope. I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. If you, I like that.
I always tell people once you've been treated well by a man, it's very hard to deal with the ignorant shit.
No, she's 100% right.
Because I'm my dad's child, and I understand. Like even in the car, when we would ride in the car and his friends would stop him to talk, they had to talk to him. There wasn't no looking inside the car. What are you looking at, nigga? Don't be looking inside my car. Anything over here ain't got nothing to do with you. You talking to me, look at me. And he would just say it just like that. So I'm not used to dudes leaning inside the car saying, hey, how you doing? Nobody even knew my mama existed.
Mm-hmm.
And she would be sitting in the seat next to him. But you don't look at her. What are you looking at her for?
You ain't lying. I tell you, if you talking to my woman, you talking to me. If you a man, so you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna respond like I'm her. If you talking to my woman, you talking to me. You ain't really
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%, 1,000%. I used to take my daughter and her, my younger cousins that was like of age of like, maybe they was, I don't know, 8, 9 when they started liking boys or whatever. I would say, all right, we go to like parks, so music parks. I used to take them up, the Riverside and Six Flags all the time. But at the same time, I would say, I'm the guy. I'm gonna treat you guys like your future boyfriend should, and I would open the doors for. I would say, you can't get out. You gotta wait till I come around, or before I knew about the African thing, I would open the doors for him, let him go in, and just all the mannerisms of that I knew of to be a gentleman. So I would teach him how, a gentleman or a man or a boyfriend should be treating them. And hopefully they're picking great individuals now. You know what I'm saying? I know my daughter has a great boyfriend now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, so hopefully my younger cousins are doing the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't go check up on them and be all in their business, but now they're grown. You know what I'm saying? They're like in their 20s, so I don't know. So hopefully some of those things that I taught got instilled into them. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah. Do you think it's also important that because I know the values that I was raised with, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I also know the times that I live in, and that some things aren't going to be it for the society that we have today. There is no way that I could be like, I'm just gonna wait on my man to protect me, you know. you I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom and all that shit. That it's impossible to live that lifestyle in this day and age. So how do you as a man cope with the changes in society and see women still as feminine even though they've had to um they've had to take on some of the masculine qualities in order to survive in the times that we're in?
So the majority of my spiritual clients are women, and like you said, the modern woman has become overly masculine, and so she's leaning more towards her masculine principle out of necessity. Most of these men that she meet are not operating in their divine masculine, so she has to lean that way in order to sustain herself. So what I do is work with these women and help them get back to their more feminine self and help them balance out their energy. And I'm not saying you don't need to interact with your masculine, but like anybody or anything, it's all about balance, and moderation. So you need to sit in the middle. It's a time and a place for that. So I do things to let these women know that they don't have to be masculine. It'd be crazy that it be in my age. In the past 4 years, I've been the first man
Mm-hmm.
to buy a woman flowers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, see what I'm saying? Nigga never bought you
Yo,
flowers.
that don't even, I get it, but that don't make no sense. It's like they don't know, they don't have the sense to know that flowers are a suggestion of I like you, or let's
Yeah,
have a date. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's weird that you said that statement, but I know it's true
yeah,
because a lot of people my age or under, you know, I see their relationships. I don't interfere, but I see it and I go, what in the world? Like, she's gonna go for that or he's gonna go for that. I'd be like, what's going on right now? I'm just as confused based on this masculinity that women portray, and I know why, but like you said, it got to be a balance. They got to know when to put it on and
yeah.
when to take it off.
But we got to do the work. At this point, we all agree that there's a surplus of unhealed trauma in our community that we are passing down through these bloodlines. Right? We
Mm-hmm.
need we need to accept the fact that DNA is real, and you can pass trauma from parent to child, from child to grandchild, so forth and so on. So while you in your current life or your current time, you have the ability to heal those wounds of those who came before you, the wounds in the present, and prevent them from being wounds of the future. You know what I'm saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how I approach my interaction with these women. I make sure that I'm giving them a space where they feel safe, comfortable enough to be they truly feminine self. Now I'll be that masculine and we'll do that dance together. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how do you
Mm-hmm.
incorporate meditation into that, like with your teachings? Is meditation that important? Can that help, women and men cope with, I guess themselves
For
first?
sure. Because for one, what meditation helps do is, I mean, it's gonna relieve stress, anxiety. It helps with depression. You know what I'm saying? And it also slows the mind down, right? And then the more you practice, you can begin to receive messages really from yourself or from God or whatever title you want to put on it. But you can receive positive messages that'll give you the direction about how to go about what these traumas are and how to heal from them. You could go into a meditation and you could envision yourself in the house that you grew up in as a child. And you could analyze and relive
Mm-hmm.
some of this and see it for what it truly is, take the lesson from it and let the pain and the hurt go and heal from that in your present time. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like meditation is something that we should all be doing for at least 15 minutes a day.
So for somebody who's not familiar or even have the slightest bit of understanding on what you're saying right now, it's not as elevated mentally as you are, what would be a good first step for them in order to even begin to understand?
Focus on your breathing. Take, 10 to 15 slow, deep, full breaths. You know what I'm saying? And don't pull yourself away from the world for a minute. Let it just be you in whatever space you in and take those slow, deep, full breaths. And you can really build on that. One of the first methods that I like to tell people to start with is the 4x4 method. So this is after
Mm-hmm.
you've already been deep breathing. But you can inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then hold again for 4 seconds and repeat the process. And you can just focus on that because a lot of people, they worried about their mind wandering while they're trying to meditate or quiet in their mind. So you just focus on that 4 count, you know what I mean? And just repeat that for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Or you can push yourself. So you can take a deep inhale and count. See how long you can hold it and exhale. And just keep trying to extend that number. You can sit there and do that for 5, 10, 15 minutes. That's a good basic start for somebody.
Cool. So my question to you, because because of the deep breathing, what is how important is breath as a live performer?
It's everything. It's everything. I pick on the small guys all the time about it. I opened for Benny in 2021 in Fort Worth. And crazy is I was sick. I didn't even get to rehearse. You know what I mean?
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I always do my breathing exercises before I perform, and I be talking shit. Man. So I'm up there and I like, hey man, hey, I'm a big nigga up here rocking this shit. No vocals, no hype, man. But when y'all see them skinny niggas get up here and they rapping over their vocals, you know what I'm saying? You need to laugh at them, put it in check, right? It's a dude who had to perform after me. He came and told me later. He was like, "Bro, when you said that, you killed me, bro." You know what I'm saying? He was like, "That was some real shit." But he was like, "Bro, I don't know how you do that. I can't do that." You know what I'm saying? And I gave him some game and some pointers and all that, but it's everything. You should be able to control that crowd. You know what I'm saying? Through your voice the entire time, and you need a certain amount of oxygen in your breath to be able to project the proper way. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the breath is everything, and that's even off stage. I have a book called The Science of Breath that really helped change my life. But breathing is essential. Sometimes a person is only sick because they're not breathing properly. A lot of times
Mm-hmm.
you're sneezing because your nose is a filter for the air that you breathe in. But most of us breathe through our mouth. And so after so long, now it's built up and your nose is just pushing out what you didn't allow it to filter in the first place. It was breathing through your mouth instead of your nose.
Mm,
You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
it.
So
Yeah.
breath is very important to me.
What other pointers can you give, I guess, a performer besides breathing exercises to give a good performance?
Rehearse in front of mirrors because normally what you're doing is when you're on stage, you think you look awkward. You overthinking about how you look and how these people seeing you. So when you go perform, when you go rehearse in front of mirrors, full length mirrors, you get to know how you look when you're doing and saying certain things. You can become comfortable with yourself. You can see what they seeing and you can really construct it. And then it's different. Put time and effort into your show, and build your show a certain way. You can take breaks. You might add a skit in between two songs, and that skit is entertaining and captivating the crowd. But you hitting the water and taking your deep breath so you can get right back to it. They're not gonna recognize that that's why you did that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Different things that you can plan. You can construct your features a certain way to where, okay, I really need a break in the show right here. So I got somebody that go after me on this song. I'm gonna start the song off, then they go that whole time taking a break that I need to recalibrate myself and come back behind them. You know what I'm saying? Just different things like that. And then study the greats, man. Like with anything else. Go watch that tape. I don't know about nobody else, but when I was a 5 to 10-year-old kid, Michael Jackson was God. You know,
Oh,
Yeah.
I watched that Smooth Criminal tape every day when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So go study the greats, man. And if that's what you want, aspire to be like them. One of the people I've been studying recently is Floyd Mayweather. People can say whatever they want.
oh, yeah.
Mayweather never got tired in the ring. I just rewatched his whole career. I never saw it. But the work ethic, the breath, once again, that he had, Zab Zuda trained with him for Pacquiao. He said they would wake up, run the 5 to 10 miles, go to the gym, do the workout, spar for 15 rounds. He go home. Floyd go to the club. When Floyd leave the club at 3 o'clock in the morning, he'll call him and say, "Come on, we're finna go run 10 miles."
Yo, you know why I believe that story? I was watching like EYL, Earn Your Leisure guys, and they said they was happened to be somewhere coming from the club, and they just saw Floyd running like it was like 2, 3 in the morning, and they was like, "Yo, Floyd," he's like, "Yeah," like he's running like I'm like, "What? At 3 in the morning? What's he doing?" You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's about the heart and the mind, man, and like you said, taking your craft, or whatever your passion is seriously. You know what I'm
For sure.
saying? And putting time and
I
effort
think
into it.
I think that's how I learned I would never be a performer. I dislocated my shoulder trying to do that chair move Janet Jackson did on Pleasure Principle.
Oh, come
Right.
on.
Oh
She probably
shit.
didn't warm up. She didn't warm up. She didn't exercise.
I know I'm way too awkward for any of this, right?
Oh shit.
Yo,
What was the who are the three people in your life that has impacted you so far and changed you to where to be the man that you are right now?
The first two I'm gonna just give to my mother and my father because they the ones who passed me this DNA. You know what I'm saying? And my father gave me really my mama for allowing my father to give me the name that he wanted to give me. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Mm-hmm.
believe of naming your child. You know what I'm saying? And my father for constructing the name in the way that he did in the time and year that he did it. you know, and
Mhm.
me being created out of love, I tell people that all the time. If I do sound special, I say, and I'm not an accident. I was created on purpose out of love with intention. You heard? You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
the different thing. The third one I'm gonna give to my spiritual godfather, Awo Adeleke. Um, his artist name is Nwambe. He's a soul singer. Y'all should check him out. But
Definitely.
he's the one who brought me into Ifa, and Ifa saved my life, hands down, no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? I can't
Mhm.
even fathom where I would be today if it wasn't for Ifa.
Hmm.
Incredible.
That's great.
Monkey, you have any more questions?
I do want to know, and I don't want to like stereotype your name or your AKA name, but where did Big Baby Thanos come from, man? Because I'm not gonna say you gotta resemble him, but you kind of do. You know what I'm saying? So
That
is that where it came from?
look, I'm not a comic book dude. You heard? I be messing with some of my partners that is. I be like, listen, I was too poor to ever afford a comic or any of that extra shit you niggas was privy to. I don't know no comic.
I used to steal comic books. I wasn't privileged, man.
Oh, okay, yeah. If I'd have asked my mama for a comic book, she'd have slapped the shit out of me. So look, so I like Marvel films though. You heard? So I
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
one,
yeah.
and I'm like, yo, Thanos an ill nigga, and I look like this nigga, and I feel like this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with dude energy. They really got him twisted. You know? I'm like,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, like yo, like I understand him.
Yeah, when they seen the second one and they killed my nigga, I was devastated. You know what I'm saying? I was hurt. Like, what the fuck? You gonna kill Thanos, nigga? Nah. So the whole message that I
It's
felt like,
odd because
huh?
it's kind of odd because I don't think I'm probably one of the ones who kind of felt bad for Thanos because I
Yeah.
didn't think he was wrong. I think his approach was wrong, but I don't think his goal was wrong.
And so that's
If that
that's
makes
the
Yeah,
sense.
no, 100%. Yeah.
that's the play on it, right? So Big Baby Thanos represents my mission of bringing balance back to the hip hop universe. Because that's how he was trying to restore balance in the universe. He was just trying to balance everything out. You know what I'm saying? And of course, and the way he did it, a large amount of people had to die for that. But he was seeking
Hmm.
balance, peace, and harmony within the universe. And I feel like hip hop is just out of balance right now, and we just need that balance to
Yeah.
return. So, Big Baby Thanos is like it's balanced itself. It's 8 tracks plus 3 bonus tracks, right? Out of the 8, it's like 4 where I'm just rhyming, and then it's 4 real songs with hooks, big production, all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's a balanced thing.
Mm.
It's not like Ill
Yeah.
Dallas to where that's just hardcore boom bap hip hop. If that's not your thing, you're not gonna fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Big Baby Thanos is in the middle of those two worlds between
Yeah.
the underground and the commercial. Man,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I like that. I like that,
That's a
man.
dope.
So
If if you have if you have a chance to influence even just one person in this world, what would be the message that you'd want to put out, not only through your music, but just with your life?
mm, authenticity.
Mm.
Um, whoever you are, whatever you are, find comfort in that, and then
Hmm.
stand on that, be unwavering in that. Whoever is not comfortable with that is not for you. You can only be who you are. So find comfort in being yourself. Don't put on a mask for no one. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself, and that's your offering to the world. I feel like that's what's missing in a lot of our art, the authenticity. You know what I'm saying? People are trying to be what they think people want to see or want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just be yourself. That's what makes you original. That's what makes you different by you being you. Don't try to be me, and I'm not gonna try to be you. I'm gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? And whoever rock with that, rock. You know, who don't, ain't for them.
100%. One of my last, I guess, comments slash questions is like, you know, I'm a huge fan of, you know, family wealth, developing family wealth in some manner. I see you're on that path. You're writing books, producing, rapping, doing shows, movies. You're gonna start doing soundtracks. I know that all that everything's going on. You're gonna start doing the scores. That's coming next for you. But is there anything else that you're doing that you want to share? And maybe someone else might say, "Oh, that's a great idea," or just be as passionate to something you might be getting into soon.
Actually, I got a new brand that's about to launch. It's about bringing awareness to the necessity of self sustainability in our community. So we're placing an emphasis on agriculture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the stores will sit on farms. Everything sold in the store will come off of the farm, and then we'll also have curriculum for the youth to teach them how to farm themselves.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
yo,
my main
Yeah,
mission.
I'm big. I'm very big on home gardening, making sure that you're able to sustain yourself no matter um what's going on around. If every store in the state of Texas closed, I can go kill a goat. I can go pull some greens. We can go we gonna have some tomatoes. You know,
Exactly.
it's going to be something in my yard that is able to sustain us for at least 5 years.
Exactly.
Even if I
So
don't have a canned good in the house, I know how to find
we
wild onions.
we don't need none of that. I want to give a shout out to my brother QP. He's a master gardener. He's also an MC here in Dallas, Texas, and he's been leading that charge for the past probably 4 years now. You know what I'm saying, about getting into the gardening. He teach young black kids how to farm every day, and he do it with the Rolex and the Jordans and stuff on. So they looking at him like, oh, I could get money and be flying and still play in the dirt and plant these fruits and vegetables. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
And on my
I
end,
would love to talk to him.
for
yeah.
sure, I can introduce y'all to him for sure. And then
Hell
on my end of it, I'm gonna lean more towards the herbal side of it, the herbs and the fruit. You know what I'm saying? So we can bring in that healing aspect of it as well. You know,
yeah. Ooh, yeah.
our two
Very
efforts.
dope.
You know what I'm saying? We can provide everything that we need for our community, and then we teaching our community how to provide for themselves, which is the most important thing to me.
Fire. That's fire, man. I
That's
love
fire. Thank you so much for coming. I knew this was going to be an awesome
it.
conversation. I have been looking forward to it. It has been something about you from the first time I heard your album that has drawn me to you, and this has been nothing. It has been absolutely more than what I thought it would be.
Thank you.
It has been so great to just sit down and pick your brain. It's so much more I want to ask you.
We got time. We're gonna keep
Will
it. You know what I'm saying? We go. It's a lot of motion coming. We're gonna have to come back for sure.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a sequel when you drop your new. We gonna do a sequel to this
Oh yeah.
because as with all things, one thing that is constant is change. So as things change for you, I know it's only going to get bigger and better. And so I hope you keep us with you on your ride. It's gonna be a hell of a journey, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Most definitely. I appreciate y'all love and support always.
I gotta
So
bow down to you, man. And appreciate, and hopefully others follow your path of righteousness. Just you speaking on things of gardening and books and black women, like the topics that we spoke on and the topics that you brought up have it gives me energy to be better and do better. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's a
And I think that's, as a
beautiful
black man, you're doing your job. You know what I'm saying? So when next time I'm around a black man, or I'm gonna do the same. You know what I mean? So we got to transfer
thing.
that energy.
Nah, you made my day with that because we actually been I'm constructing a couple things that I'm gonna do in the community this year. I was talking with my baba about that. Um, creating seminars for black men to come together and heal. We watching a lot of our women do it, and these black men, it's not like we haven't got into that yet. We're not comfortable with that. So I'm brainstorming. I literally had this conversation today. I'm brainstorming about, different seminars that I could create to where we could lead up to where a bunch of black men get together and we go to somewhere off in nature, whether it be Brazil or something like that, and have a spiritual a healing retreat where it's just men. You know what I'm saying? And we could come together and help each other heal and inspire each other and bounce that energy off of each other. I think we need that, and our women need us to get on our game for sure.
yeah,
100%.
I'd be happy if black men could get to a point where they can actually hug each other without saying no homo or something like that.
Yeah, it be.
If
I
we
be
can
catching
just
people
get
off guard.
there.
I be catching some of my homies. I caught some of my homies off guard in the past year because I might just be like, "Nah, I love you, bro." You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, you know what I'm saying? But most of me and my friends just like that. So like outsiders and new people
Yeah,
I meet, I look at it like it's weird, but like, nah, I mean, that's my brother. I love him. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to happen to him. You know what I'm saying? If he need me, I'm gonna be there.
yeah,
Like, it ain't nothing wrong with loving your brothers, man.
Yeah, I could be
there
vulnerable.
you
I say it
go.
all the time, and I do hug my friends. The
Oh,
ones that are not as macho, like you said, and don't got that
yeah,
that '90s mentality. But
yeah,
there are friends that I grew up with, that we say I love you. I say I love you to my male cousins, you
yeah.
know, uncles. You know what I'm saying? So like I was raised, with love and how to give it and present it. So yeah, man, I love it. I love this stuff, man.
So tell everybody what you have coming up and how to get in touch with you.
I'm Rakim Al Jabbaar on all social media platforms. Dropping an album, Big Baby Thanos, March 20th, the first day of spring. I'll be dropping a music video that day too. We got a lot of content coming before the album, after the album, and all year. I'm dropping 4 projects this year. I'm dropping every quarter. You know what I'm saying? This
Already.
Big Baby Thanos is just the first one. So if you locked in with me, stay tuned. The website will be up soon with all of the CDs and stuff available. I got tapes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just follow me on all social media and stay tuned.
And check out the description because I'll put all of his social media information in the description and his where to get his albums, where to get his music, all of that'll be in the description. Marquis, you have anything you want to leave the people with?
Just another great conversation with Rakim Al Jabbaar. We had the first conversation on the THHC podcast on YouTube. Go check that out too. And we discussed and broke down Ill Dallas, and then we had a conversation afterwards. I even watched it today just to catch up, so I won't repeat my questions and stuff like that. It was a great conversation, a great breakdown, and salute, man, for you doing and being you, and keep doing what you're doing, man, because you give me that energy to be a better person, man. And SP, man, you know that. I salute to you too.
Thank
Great co-host, what I'm saying? SP's, in the grind. She loves hip hop and conversation and trying to be a better person and working with people, what I'm saying, and just having a good vibe. She has that that greatness about her that you want to having your circle. So shout out to both of y'all, man, and shout out to music, hip hop, the way it's going, because I do think it's going in a positive directions for people like yourself, Rakim, man, and as long as we got people like SP and myself, man, hopefully we push the right culture and the right people, and we get there.
No, for sure. Let me say one last thing about the power of speaking things into existence. Where you in Boston, right?
Yeah, but I'm from Boston. Yeah.
On the second song on my album in Dallas, I said, "Drop the bomb in Dallas, they gonna feel the wave in Boston." I ain't never been to Boston. I ain't never met nobody in Boston. I spoke that into existence. So be intentional with your word.
Love it, man, and I love it, and I
Really.
tell everybody in Boston to check this shit. I ain't
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. So, it's love. I need to come up there.
Yeah.
So, this is SP. When you look to Texas artists, don't just look like we all just trapping down here. We have lyricists. You want it, we got it. And pay attention to what's happening down here, because we have people like Rakim Al Jabbaar that is doing stuff. And we are not just, if you look around, we just not riding horses down the middle of Sunset. We are,
They are doing
we
that too.
are, we will, don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted, but that ain't necessarily all we about. We have culture, we have hip hop, we have it all. And when you think hip hop, think Rakim Al Jabbar. Go and check out his music. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, ask him questions in the comments, and we'll see you on the flip side. It's the formula, and we out. Peace.
Peace.